What up? What up? What up? Welcome to Live in the Den. I appreciate y'all being here tonight. Gonna wait a few seconds. Hopefully, we get some people in here and I'm not just on my own. So, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Get this right. Thursdays. Thursdays will be my official day, my official night for live streaming. Broadcast will be on Thursday. It's pretty much been the easiest day to be on. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to stick to Thursdays and let that be the day that you guys come in so you won't be worried about me what day I'm going to be on live. So come make sure you be here on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central. Let's get this show started, shall we? Yes. 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 Welcome to the den. Welcome to the den. I appreciate you being here with me tonight because you know what everybody says. You could have been anywhere else, but you decided to be here with me. And you know, I always appreciate it. You know, this is not my full-time job. So every time I'm in here in the studio, I am putting overtime for your entertainment and well-being. So I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here with me tonight. Yes, Les, like I said before, at the beginning of the broadcast, this will be the official day of Live in the Den with yours truly, Aaron EBM. I had to pick a day, and Thursday seemed like the best day to do it. You know, Monday's kind of hard. You know, a lot of people are on Monday night. That's prime time, you know, going back to work. You know, Tuesdays, not so much want to do the Tuesdays because it's a blah day, and Wednesday is hump day. You know, so I said Thursday had to be the sweet spot, you know, save Fridays for special occasions and you know what, me time, family time. So Thursdays will be the official time, official day, and 8 p.m. Central. So if you want to join in with me in the den, make sure you get there 8 p.m. Central Standard Time every Thursday, so you don't want to miss it. So welcome, guys. Welcome. I hope you guys had a pretty good week, a pretty productive week. Everything is gone pretty good, you know, good for you guys with all the rest of the stuff going on in the world. We always want you guys to have the best time and have the most productive week you guys can have. So that's what I like here, you know, being a fair and balanced channel. I always wish everybody the best of luck and the best of time through their week, and hopefully you get stuff done. So, that, man, that being said, I am finally on that train or on that road to working out and doing, living my healthiest life that I can, trying to work out. And I hope you guys are doing the same, starting to run. Make sure you find something. If you don't know what you want to do, if you don't know what best suits you, find something that you can get a little umph behind you, find something that you can find a little joy in. No, most people don't like, working out, and if they do like working out, they're usually, Mr. Olympia or Mrs. Olympia. So find you guys something that you can do and stay active, because that's the killer. That's the killer right there. Not being active, being sedentary, and then you look at all the junk that they're feeding you and they're feeding us, and you wonder why, we're all either out of shape or have poor health conditions because of the stuff that the sedentary life and the stuff they're feeding us. So, let's take care of ourselves. Make sure you put the best stuff you can in your body. And I know, I'm not saying you just got to give up everything and all the stuff that you like, but make sure you keep that stuff to a minimum, if you can, because I know it's hard. I know it's hard to do, but your family will thank you, your loved ones will thank you, and you'll live a better and more energetic life. So make sure you do that. Make sure you find something. Me, I found the newfound joy in running. I never did think that I would like running. I thought that it would be one of those things. It just, as when I was growing up, coming up, running looked like it was boring. You just running. I said, who would want to do running? You would think that or feel like excuse me, CrossFit or powerlifting or just doing those high impact, exhilarating things would be the things that you want to do or everybody wants to do. But I found a real peace in running and jogging and trying to um, do my miles at a better pace, and eventually I want to actually do a 5K. So I'm really thinking about maybe filming and documenting some of my road to doing this 5K. And you guys let me know. I did do some shorts like that last year, but unfortunately I got hurt. I hurt myself pushing myself a little bit too hard running on pavement, and you really have to pay attention to your footwear. So do that. That's the first thing you want to do. Make sure you pay attention to your footwear, because you take the feet out and you're done. You know, I it, you got two bones on your leg. You have that your legs comprised of, well, two main bones. You got a lot of little ones, but two main bones. You got the tibula and the fibula, or fibula. The tibia and the fibula. One, the small one on the left side, I believe, of your or the outside leg is the fibula, I believe, and then you have the tibia, the big one. Well, it felt like my leg was broke. Like I don't know what was wrong. It was around October, and it took me out all the way through like January, February. I was limping for months, and the only thing I could track down to it wasn't broke, it wasn't sprained. I think just with time and age, man, you can't get out here and run and treat your body like you could when you were in 18, 19, 20, because your body's just not going to react the same. And I learned the hard way. So when I started back up a month or so ago, just started to take light. First thing I thought about was my shoes, because I started with trainers. That's the worst thing you can do when you're starting to run, is using trainers. You don't want to use trainers. Make sure you have a good running shoe. Take care of your feet and your ankles. So I wrapped my ankles. I made sure my ankles were wrapped when I started back up running again. And then I really paid attention to my foot placement when running on the ground. I made sure my heel was planted, and I rolled into the actual steps. I rolled into the actual steps, and I didn't really um pound the pavement like you would normally do when you're running. Most of the time you run and your feet are just pounding the pavement, and you're not really paying attention to it. So when you really start to pay attention to your feet, really pay attention to the way your feet are landing, you really begin to feel it. You get sore. The muscles around your leg get sore, your ankles and everything, because you're actually paying attention, and you're actually putting resistance in there when you from where you were just pounding and letting your feet flop. you're actually paying attention to. So for take care of your feet, take care of your ankles, make sure you have well placement, think about how you're landing your feet. And then make sure you change it up. Don't run when you start to feel like your legs and your ankles and your bones are getting fatigued, man. Get your workout regimen, get you a maybe it's time to get on the stationary bike or start to do in-home workouts and stop let your legs and ankles heal, let that muscle grow, and then you go back at it maybe a few days later. Don't stop. Make sure you don't take more than a day off, because when you start taking days off at a time, that's when you begin to form another that bad habit of not wanting to do it, and then you're right back at the square one and trying to get that endurance back up. So, it's a journey. It's fun, for me, and I suggest anybody that even think about or have the thought about doing it, just get out and do it. That's the first, that's first step of just getting out and getting active, because that's the number one thing. We don't run around. We don't do the things that we used to do. We used to run the streets, right? If you think about it, when you were a teenager, a kid and teenager, you were up all day long, and you were active. You were outside playing. Your parents, if you had parents like mine, you didn't get to stay in the house all day. You got kicked out, especially this time of year. You got kicked out. You got to go outside and run around, and then you get older and you're running around with your friends from one side of town to the other on bikes, and you're really just staying active. But when you get older and you get bills and you get a apartment or a house, and then you got to sit down, and then you have to put your focus in and trade your time in for money. But what begins to happen is you get sedentary, and it's just not because you want to. It's just because it's a habit. It's another habit that forms in the process of making that money. You're stuck in one spot all day long, and you're making millions of dollars for a company. Because that's what they pay you for, to help make them millions of dollars, and for that you get your wage, and you're trading your time for money. You know, and that's what it is. That's usually what happens. But you got to remember that you do matter. Especially the guys. I tell the guys, the men, you matter, because in this world and in this society, you're made to feel like, you know what matters from you, or what the world wants from you, is an output. They want results, and you don't matter. You come second, third, fourth to whatever output you're doing. Whoever you're working for, your family and your friends, or whatever obligations you have, you come after all that stuff's taken care of. But guys, you have to remember that you matter, and the self-care is a thing, and self-care is important, and you have to take care of yourself, and you have to do the things that you want to do, especially if it's things that help take care of you and keep you alive and keep you strong longer. That stuff matters, and you matter. So make sure that you put yourself, you take out time for your self-care. If it's nothing but 30 minutes, an hour a day for you just to do this stuff, then take it out. Be selfish for that 30 minutes and the hour. Don't let anybody break it unless it's an emergency. And that's all you need. You guys will be amazed at what 30 minutes a day to just work out and block out all the rest of the stuff that's going on through the day out of your mind, and just think about you. You guys will be amazed to what that does for your mind, your psychology, and then your body. And then we got other stuff like food and intermittent fasting that we could talk about later, because I'm not a health expert. I just learn from trial and error, and I try to pass whatever knowledge I have on to the people that I know. And I appreciate you guys for being here, and I appreciate you guys for watching. If you are new here to the channel, this is Aaron EBM, and we are live in the den. So, talking about work and trading your time in for money, making your company millions of dollars, and getting your wage, that is crazy, because we're living in a weird time. That's why the name of the today's broadcast is Battleground. No matter what it is, whether it's love, whether it's working for your company, this whole thing is a battleground. You got the corporate battleground, you got your relationship, and if you're in love, that's a battlefield, like they say, and the wars are fought on the battleground. It is what it is. You think about Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan. That, that's a battleground. What the very reason I played that song for, don't hurt them. Lady, don't hurt them. That's what happens to them. What happens to guys like that. And it's sad, but I really don't understand the whole obsession with famous people's love life. They're human. Guys got to remember that they're human just like everybody else. They go through the same things that we go through. Nothing that they do is new. It's all the same. It's all the same stuff that we all go through. And what happened to him, unfortunately, it's come on, guys. It's not like I didn't see it. I mean, a lot of you guys saw it too. I seen the same thing with Kim and Kanye coming. I called that like two or so years ago when they got together. I told everybody this is not going to work. It's gonna. I didn't expect it for kids to get involved, because now that's even crazier, because you got kids that are all stuck in the middle, and we were watching these kids get bounced back and forth between two, come on, toxic people, and it ain't nothing you could do about it, because it's not your family, it's not your kids. And the same thing for Michael B. He's gonna be all right. Y'all know Michael gonna be all right, but it's not like we didn't all see it coming. Y'all, come on. I saw it coming. I know y'all saw it coming. I'm just regular Aaron EBM. You guys are the ones watching all this stuff, celebrity stuff. You guys should have seen it coming. And I'm not mad at either one of them. My thing is it's always the people. It's always the people, and it's always like the sisterhood. They'll criticize somebody like Michael B, or a guy that is just living his best life, dating whoever he wants to date, and then he's a sellout for doing the things he wants to do. But they'll never critique the woman. It's always, okay, go girl, you do what you want to do. And then they'll run off the guy like Michael B, and he'll go decide to date whoever he wants to date, and then he's a whatever for doing what he wants to do. Hold on, somebody's outside my door. Hold on. I think somebody ordered DoorDash. Yeah, somebody ordered DoorDash. Anyway, there's strange people just walking up to your house. Anyway. Yeah, it is what it is. That's not. I already knew it. I already knew what was going on. I already knew what was going on, and it is what it is. So you guys, it goes into what I was saying about this stuff being a battlefield and a battleground, and then you have that the financial side of it. You have the corporate side of it, like I said in the beginning. And the corporate side, the battlefield with that, man, is strange, because now we all are seeing this stuff fall out in real life, and live, and in color. It's live and living color. You can see the dysfunction ever since. You guys remember a few broadcasts ago, I told you why I got into YouTube, and why I started to just jump into it head first. And it was because that when the pandemic hit, the pandemic, if the pandemic didn't sober you up, if the pandemic didn't make you feel, or make you really evaluate your whole path in life, then something was wrong with you. Because that's what happened. When I got laid off for months, like 3 or 4 months, four, and maybe I can't even, might have been longer than that. And at that time, we were getting that big unemployment and everything like that, and it was all good. It was all good. Nothing was going on. But you begin to think like, what are they going to call me back, or I'm going to be, have to go back searching for another job? And if you think about it, it's during a pandemic. Can you really go get another job, or are people shut down? Our other businesses shut down, and you're in like at point zero again. So it was really a sobering experience. And if you didn't learn anything from that, if you didn't pick anything up like that, it's a shame, because you should have picked something up. You should have either got an enlightenment or awakening, or something like that, to let you guys know that these corporations, at any time, they can let y'all go. They can let you go. and not think twice about you and keep going like they never even knew you at all. No pension, no goodbye, no wave off, no see you later. Just shut the door and hit you in the butt on the way out. So if you didn't see this, if you didn't understand that you were expendable during that time, then you didn't learn anything. I learned that I was expendable, but I did go back. When I left, I was actually I was a supplier quality specialist or engineer. I didn't have a engineering degree, so I was a specialist. So what I did is basically travel, do audits at suppliers, make sure supplier quality was up to par per the NIST standard. That's what I did. I liked it. I learned. And when the pandemic hit, I was told that my position wasn't needed anymore right after I got back. So I went from there into MPNL, which is material planning and logistics. Let me turn this on real quick. You guys don't want to see that all the time. There you go. I'm in material planning and logistics, MPNL. Now, MPNL, material planning and logistics, is just what it sounds. It's planning. You make sure that the products that you guys use, the tangible products that you need for a day-to-day basis, that your company has that. You make sure that the provisions are made. You make sure that the suppliers that you use are sending the products that you are using them, that make sure that stuff is there in your plant at any given time. So you know um that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm currently doing. And then what really happened is, after that happened, you got sobered up by the pandemic. That really showed you that the companies didn't care about you, right? The companies didn't care about you, and they can do whatever they wanted to at any time. Like I said before, right? Yes, they can do anything you want to. And what you begin to see is, you begin to analyze. Okay, you begin to analyze that the baby boomers got what they wanted. The baby boomers got what they barely by the skin of their teeth. They were able to get out and get their pensions, and we're stuck in here with mountains of debt, and a lot of us have useless degrees. I've talked to a lot of every position I've been in. I've talked to somebody that has a degree that they really did need. So what happened is, they have those degrees that they didn't really we didn't really need, the millennials. And what's happening now is that the Zennials are seeing what we're saying. They're saying that we're saying that we have been lied to, we have been used. We have been put in a position to where we are stuck and we're slaves. And I was listening to Jordan Peterson say that in the 60s and 70s, people's biggest fear was being stuck in a job working until you retired, and then you got your pension and died. That's what they didn't want. They rebelled against that. And then what we actually got was the counter of that. A bunch of people, yes, we're working, and then now the pensions are gone, so you don't have the pensions. And then the companies are sending those jobs that you could got pensions from overseas. So whatever's left, everybody's trying to scramble to keep, so they can at least keep food on the table. And then you might have a 401k. And then if you have a 401k, if the stock jumps or pops up or down, it's not really a pension. It's really a way to save and then gamble, but you have to be intentionally intelligent. There's no more of them just giving you a retirement plan. It's almost like you have to take, and it is what it is. I'm not complaining. It just is what it is. But what's happening now is, you see that the Zennials are seeing that what we're saying, and they don't want no part of it. They're not going to come in here and work and work and work and work and work forever, and then for you to take everything from them. They don't care. They don't give a damn. They're going to come in here and do whatever, and if they don't like it, they're going to leave. So that's that part of it. That's what you see, and it's never really recovered. Everywhere is lacking employees. From the people that I talk to when I'm doing my logistical planning, nobody and everybody's suffering and going through the same thing. And we're lacking in places with manpower wise. The people that we buy stuff from, they can't seem to find anybody to work. And they can't seem to find anybody to work. And where is everybody? Everybody is just doing what they want to do. They are realizing that life is short, and I believe a lot of them are getting ready to feel this shift, this paradigm shift, that what they call it, the great the transfer of wealth, that they say that is beginning to happen, that is going to, whether it's going to be a total change and collapse of the system that we're using right now, and then something else will get adopted, which a lot of people have speculated for years now. And by the looks of it, that could be very well true, that if something could change, and all the money that we're using right now not even be a thing anymore. But it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see. What did I want to talk about? What did I want to talk about? Yes, we got the gun laws, we got the bills that are being passed right now. Um Let me see what I wanted, this first thing I wanted to show. Yeah, yeah. It is L Gibbeth month. It's LGBT Pride month, and World Tarot Card Day, and Juneteenth. On, I told you guys about a year ago that Juneteenth being added as a national holiday in June with LGBT month was a bad thing. I told you guys. I have a video for it. You go watch it. I'm not gonna play it now, but make sure you go watch it. I'll put a card up for you when this video is over. But I told you guys that adding not Black History, but adding Juneteenth to June was going to do two things. It was going to get buried in the midst of all this other stuff happening in June, and it was going to they were going to try to commercialize it, which you already seen. They had Juneteenth ice cream. They got Juneteenth shirts all in Walmart and all of this stuff. And I told you guys that was going to happen. I'd rather them not do it. I guess that was good old Moneybag Joe's way of making Black people happy, making them feel like they were still wanted here in America. And that was his olive branch to the Black community, is good Juneteenth, man. But I told you guys that the America can do two things. America could do two things, because they're a part of the world too. Excel in making sure they knew how to take people out and to turn something into a marketable product. That's two things that America can does very well. So when I was doing my research for tonight's video, the first thing I will talk about tonight, I pull that up there, is Burger King being under fire. I can pull that back up. Burger King being under fire for the dumbest displays of activism in new pride campaign. Okay. What did Burger King do? What did Burger King do so bad that they have people in such an uproar? It's Burger King. They're the people that tell you can have a burger your way. There's nothing like a warm or hot Burger King burger with sesame seeds sprinkled all over it, with mustard, ketchup, onions, pickle, sometime mayo. Gosh, and there's nothing like a Burger King burger. But what did Burger King do to try to, let me move that over there. What did Burger King try to do to market to their campaign? What did they do? In Pride Month, what they decided what they decided to do is give you a top or bottom burger. So what it is, to celebrate Pride Month, they gave you the option of having two tops or two bottoms. So not only can you have the decision to enjoy a wonderful Pride burger, a wonderful Whopper with charbroiled Whopper with sesame seeds. Now you get the opportunity to buy one with two tops or two bottoms. All you have to do is drive through and ask or tell them whether you're a top or a bottom, and they made sure to give you what you needed. Time proud Pride Whopper Are you a top or bottom? That's what it is, guys. That's what it is. They decided to do that. They decided to make a Whopper with two tops or two bottoms to show their solidarity for the Pride Month. I actually thought this was a wonderful idea. It was in Austria. It was in Austria. Can, can you guys imagine being in that boardroom when they pitched this product, when they pitched this top or bottom burger? You know, you guys, listen. I got an idea. It's Pride Month, okay? Stick with me. Stick with me. Now, in order to honor Pride Month, we're going to give the customer the opportunity to pick whether they're a top or a bottom. What do you guys think? Probably all crickets. Probably all crickets. I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's almost, I don't know if it's bad or if it's genius. I don't know if it's bad or if it's genius. You guys, what do you, I don't know. I don't know. What else did I have? Pull my stuff back up. So, see, got the Pride Whopper. We got the Pride Whopper. Yeah, that's another good one. Was just listening to YouTubers talk about the food shortage that's going on, and that's what people really don't realize. People don't realize how much. Oh, don't go over there. People don't realize how spoiled they are. For one, people don't really people don't realize that how vile the world is, let alone the nation, and how quickly they don't realize how quickly things can change and not be in their favor. They really don't. People live in a la la land, and people really are out here like sheep. You know, you try not to judge people, but that at this point it is what it is. People are more interested in what Lizzo is doing, or whether Lizzo is going to have her dimple filled cheeks out for the world to see, rather than really pinching that what's going on here. So I actually crossed this article. If I can get, I don't know if I can get this thing to fill out, but read it right here. Food food security is national security, and a crisis is coming. This is the thing. See, all these YouTubers out here talking about the national food shortage. They're talking about it. They're just all saying it, and nobody's really paying attention. I think everybody is so used to everything being such a sensational thing, or somebody just doing stuff for clicks and views, and everybody's just like I said before, in a state of being in la la land, thinking nothing can happen to them, and and their lives won't change at a drop of a dime, and we're right at the edge. And this is what I said. And anybody that pays attention to the economy outside of Bitcoin and the stuff that you hear over and over again really need to pay attention, because if you have a nation that has its food supply cut off, is a weak one. That is, everybody thinks about popular arsenal. Everybody thinks about stuff, the war, but they never think if somebody decided to cut your water off, if somebody decided to destroy your infrastructure or take your food away, what happened, how long would you have, and what could you do to circumvent that happening? Nobody ever thinks about that because we're too busy worried about what science is coming out, who's what. So listen to this. I first drove the semi on my family's farm when I was around 12 years old. My dad and I were leaving the field, full load of corn. When he told me to take a deal, giving his only advice before climbing down: make your corners wide. Let's see this right here. You can listen to this too.
Republicans and conservatives need to focus on where we're going. What's our vision for the future? We all know that Joe Biden's a terrible president. We all know that he's wrecking this country and that we're against 99.9% of what he's doing to destroy our freedoms. But we need to talk about what we stand for as well and what we embrace, how special of a gift this country is, and how we want to protect that for the next.
Okay, that has nothing to do with that. I hate when. Okay, let's keep going. From the Family Farm, the State Committee for the USDA Farm Service Agency, to the House of Agriculture Committee, I've worked in agriculture in some capacity since I could walk. Now, Dakota's governor, I serve alongside a third generation cow rancher, Lieutenant Larry Rowe. We are the only farmer rancher pair the state's executive branch, and we are both deeply concerned about America's food supply system is at risk. Now, these are people that are talking about the national food supply, what makes us able to survive, what gives us the ability to eat, what gives some the ability to feed their own families, and they is at risk. And why is this not being talked about? What's being talked about is the same thing that's being talked about all the time, which is gun control, and it's not even the pandemic disease anymore. It's whether you're going to be able to have an AR, or you're going to have up, or same thing that over and over again at each presidency, or each that happens over and over again. They're talking about this, but nobody's talking about America's food supply system being at risk. It said to keep the food supply constant and affordable for all families. It's essential. No one else controls it. You guys hear that? Another nation controls your food, it controls you. Powerful words right there. Let me read that again. When another nation controls your food, it controls you. Our leaders recognize this threat and put in place risk management tools and programs to ensure America will never go hungry because foreign entities influence. Now, see, here's another interesting part that you guys need to pay attention from. And I'm gonna put a little bit of my team hat on for you guys to really listen and pay attention whenever you guys get to watch the live. Because I see right now it's only one person in here. I ain't talking about what's going on in entertainers' lives. I'm talking about what's going on in your life. So I know I won't get a lot of people watching this right now, but hopefully when people get the win that I'll be here on Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central, you guys start watching, because in between the weird stuff and in between the silly stuff, I have stuff for you guys to really think about, and for you to really take care of yourselves with the information you need. This. Our interest in U.S. agriculture poses security threat, federal report warns. But for years now, foreign countries have been investing in food supply chain, in our food supply chain, buying up chemical fertilizer companies that American agriculture possible. People, listen to it. You don't see it because it's not overt. This is covert. Pay attention. This is covert, what they're doing right here. This is not overt. It's covert. That means they're not doing it directly. They're not buying up your food, the farmland. They're not buying up all the livestock livestock farms. What they're doing in the essential products that are needed to make that farm fertile to be able to grow the crop. This is what they're doing. Look, pay attention. They're buying up chemical and fertilizer that make America agriculture possible, purchasing processing facilities. They have introduced a vulnerability into the food supply chain. Americans rely on to eat. Americans rely on those chemicals for farmers to have those chemicals to be able to plant those fertilizers, to be able to plant food and grow them. To grow them efficiently. So they're taking it. They're starting to look at that and starting to say, well, America's big. We're not going to be able to go in and just take over America because everybody here is armed, for one. That's that two-way. That Second Amendment makes it very hard for us to come in there and infiltrate. So how can we make them vulnerable? How can we bring America to their knees? And that's one way to do it. It's control the amount of food they have through the fertilizer and chemical companies. All right. Today, China is buying up millions of acres of land across the United States, following the same blueprint have used in other countries for years. Why is nobody talking about this? Why is this something that's not being talked about? Why are we talking about R. Kelly, which R. Kelly has been in and out of trouble all the time? Why are we talking about me, Jordan? Why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about that when none of them people feed you? None of them people feed you. None of those people work at the grocery stores or on any of these farms that are essential for you to be able to eat. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that, but we continue to talk about the stuff that doesn't make any sense. Let's keep going. So while Americans have awakened to China's military expansion and its grab for critical minerals worldwide, we have not yet realized our strategic vulnerability when it comes to food supply. Says down there so I can read. It says the beef industry offers a telling example. Over time, the beef processing industry has consolidated into 4 mega packers, control 85% of America's beef supply. That's bad for competition, which is why you see beef prices skyrocketing. Which is why you see everything meat in general, chicken as well, poultry as well. Why you see it rising, because the more and more that you get stuff consolidated, the less the competition you have. You can name your own price. It's economic supply and demand. 85% of America's beef supply. That's bad for competition, and it leads to higher prices at the grocery store. But now consider that 2 of these based out of Brazil. 2 of those based out of Brazil, and that one of them is JBS Foods. JBS Foods was hacked last May on the 20th. Sorry, last May. 20% of America's beef supply went offline overnight, which is why you've seen beef go up. That's a strategic vulnerability that shouldn't happen, but it did, and it will happen again if we don't act to fix it. How can they act to fix it when nobody's paying attention to it? Food product facility fires are also enormously disruptive events. 2019, a 2019 fire at the nation's second largest beef packing plant in Holcomb, Kansas, shuttered the facility for 4 months. At that time, the plant was responsible for 6% of total beef. Whether it's 2020's incident anomalously, sorry, I got that all jumbled up, or a result of another more sinister, another more sinister. To the point is, we need more information. Mainstream media are busy anyone who's expressed even remotest about incidents at food processing facilities today. The refrain of wrongdoing. So drop of evidence is not evidence. Now this is a video right here we can watch. Hold on.
So we got Janelle here. Actually, she goes back to that 16-year-old cow. This tractor here, if it's working in the field, is probably going to burn around 10 gallons an hour. It's going to be a very expensive year for farmers, and we're going to the field with a very expensive set of tools in our toolbox. Fertilizer right now is double what it was a year ago. Fuel is over double what it was. Some chemicals are dramatically increased, as much as 3 to 4 times as much. For example, on a dairy our size, we might have spent $70,000 on fertilizer. This year, it's $145,000.
Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that the fertilizer is doubled in price?
And when you start to spread that over how many different things, tires, fertilizer, whatever it is, that adds up to a really big number. So we have to get more for our end product, whether it's milk or corn, wheat, or whatever the case may be, to help make up for that additional cost in producing that product. It's a challenge because as farmers are trying to plan for the year ahead, and whether that means buying a piece of equipment or repairing something they had before, a lot of people are concerned about where those things are going to come from. If they'll be able to attain them when the time comes. Because there's nothing worse than having a crop in the field and not being able to harvest it when it needs to be. But at the end of the day, we have to look at where agriculture is going, and who's gonna help us get through what could be some hard times.
We're going to put probably about 100 engine hours on this thing this year, and it's probably going to go through, I'm going to say, probably 800 to 1,000 gallons of diesel this year alone. We're going to use it either way, but it just makes it that much more expensive to operate.
I mean, in large part, our energy costs are going up. We'd like to see maybe a little bit more support there. We need to take into account that while we're all trying to be more green.
All right, y'all seen it. For the gist of it, that the cost, just like everything else here, the cost is going up. You know, we already know that. That's what that inflation is. We seen it. You know, we got our little Biden checks, and then we thought we were doing good, and then bam, everything went up. They had to pay it back. There's no such thing as free money. Everybody keeps telling y'all that there's no such thing as free money. And that that's my problem with the left. You know, that's my problem because they, regardless if you like it or not, it doesn't change the facts. You know, if we just because you don't like it doesn't mean it changes the facts. You know, the left is a party. You know, they work for social programs. You know, the social justice and all the other stuff that you feel that's social, which means socialist. So they work on those things, giving you things in order to give your faith in them and give more of your freedoms away to them in order for them to give you more of this stuff and more of that security. It's what happens, and what happens, things go up, and then this is why you see the further gap widening between the rich and the poor. They want, and why is this happening? You know, you say, well, you know, it's all the one side, it's all Republicans, you know, and Democrats are trying to help. No, they're not, because all the Democrats are in those that are work your elected officials are all in those tax brackets. So they're not trying to help you. They don't care. They're in that top tax bracket. They're trying to continue to make you subservient and put you in a position that where you have no choice but to put all your faith and all your time and all your resources into them just so you'll have a crumb to eat. You guys need to really pay attention. Coming at a time of shortages such everyday essential as fuel, semiconductors, and even formula, the American people have every right to be skeptical and demand answers about incidents shutting down food facilities. Americans deserve to have their leaders treat disruptions in our food system, from foreign interference to fires, with concern. It is true. They need to. This is nothing to play with. Y'all take everything for granted. Like, you know, just this stuff, just this food, and like they said, the semiconductors and the computer chips just happen, and they're just there, and they're always going to be there. But no, those is people that work, and when they work, they have to get those materials to work. But when those materials cost and then they have shortages, how are they going to make them? You guys have to take a step back and realize this is a first world country we're living in, but you have to get out of that first world thinking. Otherwise, stuff will just take you by surprise. It said, unfortunately, they've gotten the exact opposite from Biden administration. U.S. Aid Administrator Samantha Power even seemed to celebrate fertilizer shortages that will force farmers to hasten transitions to natural solutions like manure and compost. Shockingly, she also said the quiet part out loud: never let a crisis go to waste. You guys, these are the people that you pay. These are the people that are paid with your tax money, and they're sitting here playing. Why? Because they have way more resources than you to worry about whether a pack of chicken is going to cost $9 or whether it's going to cost $17. You almost like a slap in the face. But you guys, if you don't care, if you just get up on one day and just feel like they make, if you always feel like they're just going to save you, then yeah, and don't be so, and don't act like people don't act like that. I got into a whole debate with a woman in Australia concerning gun control, and she was bragging on her government, which she should if she's from that land. But she said, and it made me, it made me take aback for a minute, because she said that, you know, we don't have to worry about guns, because we don't need guns, because our government will take care of us. And I was like, seriously, what kind of thought pattern is that? The first one is, there's barely any livable land in Australia besides on the coast, so it's easier to control. But why would you want to get into a position to where you let your government, or you feel like your government has everything? You don't have to worry about anything or everything, because your government is going to take care of you forever. They're always going to take care of you until they're not anymore, or till when that gun's pointed on you and they want you to do something. It's not a good way of thinking. Congress needs to exercise its article I power of the Constitution, and hold hearings to investigate the security of America's food supply. We need to trade. We need our trade agreements honored and antitrust laws enforced. We need policies that prioritize domestic production. We need to ensure that America's food can't be held hostage by anyone. As governor, I have worked with producers and health regulators to cut competitive red tape and let South Dakota's producers ship across state lines, and invest in production facilities close to home. We need more of these common sense defense measures at national level. America is much closer to the possibility of widespread food shortages than we think. Food security is our next crisis. It may already be here, and I agree with that. It may not be here. It is already here. You see it. I am starting to see people steal food, because either the food is too high, they don't have, and they can't afford what they want to feed all their families, so they're starting to steal food again. And then I've seen people getting walked out. I hadn't seen people steal food since the early 2000s, but people starting to steal food. It's getting bad out there. And I tell you guys, you need to protect yourself. You need to learn how to somewhat self-sustain. You need to learn how to come together. You need to learn how to help each other, because that's a big part of the problem. And I'm not going to talk too much about gun control right now, but I'm going to save that for later. When we get more information out. You guys, we're not taking care of one another. That's the missing link. We don't care about the person that we don't care about the person that shoots up a whole bunch of people until after they shoot up a whole bunch of people. And then you want to go after the mechanisms that they use to kill a whole bunch of people. But you didn't care about your neighbor, the person that was going through all this stuff, until they did said heinous act. And then all of a sudden you care about the person and you want to make change, and we should take everything away. And so he won't be, or she won't be able to do anything or to harm anybody. But then after that's finished, you just stop caring about them again. And then until they buy a whole bunch of fertilizer and blow something up. That's the problem. That's part of the problem. It's not just about what they're using to hurt somebody. Although I get it. I get because we don't have grenades and we don't have flamethrowers, which can hurt a lot of people. So I get that. So I kind of get it. But you can't just attack that. And I'm not even just saying attacking the tool. I'm just saying or attacking the tool. And I'm not just saying mental health. We don't care about our people on a regular basis. We're giving our young people access to the internet way too early. We're letting them be raised by TV and outside influences, and we're not sitting there being the parents that we need to be and being the neighbors that we need to be. That's where that stuff starts. Then we can start talking about the things we need to do on top of that. But we're almost going in reverse. But that's the world. Everything's bass backwards. But you guys need to pay attention to food. I've not been one of those ones to sit there and prep everything, but if you have the extra money, store your food, store some water, start doing something, because you see in this stuff play out in real time, and because we owe so much money, because we're in so much debt, it's a lot easier for us to give people things in order to satisfy those debts, and letting them into the infrastructure and giving them special deals to buy up these fertilizer companies is just the first step. Let me see. I don't want that up there anymore. Where is my... All right. Now, last week we talked about, and I know this has been out for a while, but last week we talked about this right here. This hot ass mess right here. We talked about this whole New Jersey brawl or beatdown that happened in the Dollar Tree with that woman assaulting the man. And we seen it. We seen this whole thing play out. We seen this whole thing from frame by frame play out, and you seen it as well as I did. You know, the dude right here got completely assaulted by this woman, and it's nice to see right here. Look at this. This is the face of the person that says she was the victim. You know, that she's a female. She's a female after she beat this dude up or had him by the hand, you know, have his locks by the handful, that death grip, that G.I. Joe death grip on his hair. This is the woman that said that she was the victim. Let me see. And I believe, yeah, she was charged with aggravated assault, which she should be. She completely beat this man up. She completely, you know, was out of line. And I'm glad that justice was served in this incident. You know, I hope he sued Dollar Tree. He should have sued Dollar Tree. And if he hasn't, brother, if you see this, you need to sue Dollar Tree, because this was ridiculous. You know, you got this woman right here. I believe she was a Jamaican woman. You know, and there's so many things wrong with this whole situation. You know, after she beat him, this woman right here beat him. She's continually trying to pull him by the draws to get him away from her, while she has his hair, instead of getting her not employee but coworker off of him. You know, and then when the whole thing's said and done, after she get done beating him and the police get here, she's talking about black men don't respect black women. You know, and how, you know, out of this whole thing was problematic. I suggest anybody go watch the whole 15-minute video, because I'm not watching it. You know, that whole sisterhood, he don't respect black women thing was brought up, and after he was completely assaulted, you know, and the question was asked, when is it okay to protect yourself? When is it okay to fight back? You know, we live in a society where there is no chivalry anymore. Why would there be chivalry when you got bodacious bras like this running around beating all over men, but then they still want black men to respect them and treat them with chivalry? I don't get it. What is that? Where's the breakdown? Why is it that black men have to stand completely down, be completely subservient, and get beat and then treated like trash? But then when we decide to step up and decide to, like, I'm not going to take this anymore, you get mother raised males like this one right here trying to grab him and pull him off while this woman still has a handful of his hair. You got other women talking about this is a female after they get thrown to the ground by this big bodacious woman right here, and he just, you know, he gets on top of her and could have very well pummeled her if he wanted to. Then all of a sudden that's a woman, right? Then all of a sudden that's a woman. When is it okay for men to protect themselves against women that are clearly twice the size. That obviously she does not fear or does not have any respect or fear for this grown man that she's punching and pummeling on. So I'm asking you, when is it time, or when is it okay for a man to fight back? When is it okay for a man to protect himself without mother raised males jumping on him, talking about that's a female, trying to win his way? And this is nothing but a way being brainwashed by the mother to be able to protect this beast by all costs. You know, and then on his mind, being able to win your way into this big beast draws, which you're not going to get because you don't know this woman. But this woman was pure evil. And if you've seen the video, this was the face of hatred. That was the face of pure and utter disgust for her fellow black man. So I'm asking you, when is it okay for you to fight back against a woman that is clearly twice your size, clearly has heavy hands, was able to mace you and pummel you all over a store? When is it okay to protect yourself without getting assault charges on yourself for protecting yourself, and then being called a woman beater, and then having people jump on you talking about that's a female? When is it okay in the society? How is it okay that women can do men like that, beat men like that, not care, want to be equal, want equality, get the equality, punch on a man just like she was a woman, punch on another man just like she was a man, and then still want to be afforded the acts of chivalry because you are all of a sudden now the fairer sex? How is that possible, and why is this still going on? It is right now. I feel like this is a mental sickness. It's a mental illness at this point. And women, that's a result of having all these women-led households being able to brainwash these men into thinking they were less than a man, they are nothing but ornament, and they are there to do the woman's bidding. And that's why I continue to tell you guys that you matter too. I know you might say, well, that sounds soft. No, you matter too. You are a human being. You're just not a man. You are a human being, just like that person is a human being. And when that person, especially if she's twice, 3 times the size of you and put their hands on you, they deserve the same treatment of another man. When they cross that threshold into your space, your bubble, then they cross that and they go into the call of the wild. Now, I'm not just saying you go up and beat up a woman or slap a woman for no reason. No, but if you're on the defense, if you're running and you're not trying to do anything, and you're grabbed up by one of these humongous women that think and feel like they have the power to do whatever they want to because they can just call the police and then you're automatically in jail with a record. No, you matter. Take care of yourself. It's just a simple fact. It's just what it is. It's nothing around that. It's no way around that. It is what it is. You guys matter. You are not just you are not just there as an ornament. You matter. And that's something that's got to stop. Women got to realize that they can't just go and decide to put their hands on you anytime they want to. They can't just decide to just feel like they have the ability to just come up and destroy you or put their hands on you and all this other stuff, and then they can still be afforded the ability to have chivalry. It's ridiculous. It's a point that's got to stop. That's got to stop. Men, like I said, you remember that you matter. You protect yourself at all costs, and you treat that enemy or that person at that point as an enemy. Any woman that treats you that with that much disdain or hate is an enemy, and you deserve to protect yourself. You need to live every day to your fullest, and I mean that. Oh man, I'm up on an hour right now, and man, I can go longer, but I don't have anybody in here, man. You guys have to start coming into the lives, start participating, start enjoying this live with us, so I can be in here and fuel me to do more, guys. I always tell you guys that you are in control of your limitations, and limitations are meant to be surpassed. They're meant to be surpassed. Do I need to say that again? Do I need to say that again? You are in control of your limitations, right? You're in control of your limitations, and those limitations are meant to be surpassed. You are in control of that, and only you can control that destiny, guys. Just looking at something here real quick just to make sure. Just to make sure, guys. Yeah, remember, guys, you are. Guys, I want you to remember that you do matter, and I want you guys to know that every day, I want you to treat every day like it's your last. Go in it with the ferocity, knowing that this very well could be your last day. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you get plenty of water, and make sure to keep your health in line, and make sure that you take out the time to take care of yourself. All right, guys. I'm going to let that be it for the broadcast tonight. I appreciate it. Make sure that you get into the comment section. Make sure you spread the word that I'll be here on Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central. Until next time, everybody, I will see you later.